Perfect. Okay, so first of all, there is a glitch with MyFitnessPal right now. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but not only you guys are going through some trouble to sync with the fitness app, but also um, when we open up the food diary here on the computer, it's not reflecting what's in the app for some reason. So if you log something in and then you delete it on the app, it will not be deleted here on the food log. I don't know. I don't know why. So even though I didn't go above my calories on any day, here it might show. Why am I not? So yeah, it might show that I went above my calories some days. I don't know if you guys actually use MyFitnessPal on the desktop, but it can actually help visualize your whole entire day, your meals, and it could make sense to do that way. It makes it easier. But okay, let me go to home here. For those of you who do have the premium version, if you do have a refeed day or high carb day, or if you want to spread your calories and macros in a different way throughout the week, like if you want to have a little bit of lower carbs or lower fats during the week so you can save up for the weekends, if you have the premium version, you can do custom daily goals. So you set your nutrition goals for, like, right now I had just adjusted my calories to 1570, 140, 140, and 50 grams of fat. But I have a refeed on Tuesday. Well, every 6 days I have a refeed, and I'm going to have a little bit more carbs and a little bit more fat. So I had already adjusted that for Tuesday because it's 6 days from now. And you can do that. You can adjust your calories in a certain way during the week, and then you can adjust it in a different way on the weekends. That way you're always on track, you're always hitting your goals. I do not suggest for everyone to do this, especially if you're just starting out. I would like to see more of a balanced tracking in the first few months or the first few weeks at least, so you can get a hang of things, so your body can start responding to that quantity that you're eating. But then once you get the hang of it and you want to save a little bit more calories for the weekend, you can do that, because what matters most, like I said, is your overall caloric intake, your average caloric intake for a certain period of time. So as long as you're within that caloric average, you're good. In my case, I'm not doing that. In my case, I'm hitting the same numbers every day, no matter what, because it's a different scenario here. It's a different situation. Another point to mention on goals: never, ever, ever, ever touch your protein goal. Okay, so if you are spreading your calories in a different way during the week so you can have more on the weekends, your protein remains the same. Okay, we cannot compensate for the protein that we didn't eat today. Every day there's protein turnover. Our body breaks down and build up new protein. So we need to be every single day eating the same amount of protein. So if you are cycling calories, if you are cycling macros, make sure that you do that just by using carbs and fats. Like, reduce your carbs or or your fats, but never, ever, 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 ever touch your protein. Okay. So that's for the goals. As I said, I started at 1900 calories. I started eating 200 carbs and 60 fats. My protein remained the same all throughout. Then she reduced last week for 170 carbs, 55 fat, and now I'm down to 140 carbs and 50 grams fat. Macros are individual. So you might be eating the same amount of me as me, but for a different goal, depending on your height, depending on how much you weigh, depending on a whole bunch of different things. So do not compare my macros to your macros or my physique to your physique, because it doesn't make sense. Every body is different. Okay, so let's go through my diary here. Oh, as since you're here, let me just make sure that all of you guys understand that we're not tracking exercise with MyFitnessPal. This is really important. Do not track exercise, do not track steps, do not track anything else with MyFitnessPal, because it will, like if I go here, you see that I have the calorie remaining for the day. If I had added exercise or steps or anything here, it would tell me that I have, I don't know how many calories more that I could eat because I burned through exercise, but it's not how things work. When you receive your macro goals, when you receive your caloric goals, we are already taking into consideration your exercise activity. Okay, so I calculate your macros based off on your height, your age, your sex, your history, your diet history, your goals, how much you're eating currently, and how much exercise you're doing. Okay, so that's already taking into account. If you are tracking the macros and then MyFitnessPal says that you have more calories to eat because you've burned through exercise, then you're going to be eating in maintenance calories. You're not going to be in a caloric deficit if your goal is to lose weight, of course, right? For those of you who are going through the body recomposition phase, you're probably eating around maintenance. So that's a different story, but still I calculate your maintenance already considering your exercise, your activity level. So never, ever, ever, ever track exercise or steps with MyFitnessPal. Okay. Now, yeah, now our food here. So this is my diary for today. I have been tracking macros since 2018. So I'm very experienced. And I've created a system for myself in which I always have the things that I need to hit my macros, no matter what. Like I always make sure that I have protein sources that are lean protein. They're going to help me to hit my protein goal. So I know that, for example, egg whites, it's pure protein. So why not just add that to my eggs instead of having just eggs? So I always make sure that I have plenty of egg whites in my fridge. I always make sure that I have plenty of protein sources, veggie sources, everything in my fridge. So it starts there. It starts with the systems that you create to make sure that you have available the things that you need. Because the worst thing is you go through the day and then you're like, oh, what the fuck I'm going to eat right now? Because I need protein, but I just have steak, or I just have ground beef, or I just have eggs. I don't have anything leaner, or you know, so make sure that you have that ready, available at home. But like I was saying, I created this system and I've been following the system even during the periods that I wasn't necessarily tracking to hit a certain physique goal. It's just the system that we created here to grocery shop and buy certain things and have certain things and prioritize protein and this and that. So it starts there. So I myself do not plan my day ahead yet because my calories are still very manageable and I have everything ready. So now I just have, what do I have left here? 11 carbs, 21 fat, 38 protein. So I'm going to make myself a huge salad because that's going to be very, very low carb. I just have 11 grams of carbs. So I'm going to make a salad. I'm going to add some maybe raspberries like I did the other day. I'm gonna make because it's very low carb and high fiber. Cucumbers, broccoli. I'm gonna add some veggies in there so I can hit this 11 grams of carbs. And then for fat, olive oil or avocado. I'm gonna see how that will work out. Probably not avocado because that will also mess up my carbs. But for sure, olive oil. Almonds are a really good source of fat, so I'm going to throw in some almonds as well. And for protein, I'm going to have some chicken breast. I have chicken breast ready. I have tilapia ready. I have, if I need to, I have egg whites and eggs as well. But because I already had eggs, I already had tilapia for lunch, I already had whey protein, so I'm gonna choose to have some chicken breast, which is a different source, uh, in a big bowl of salad because that's going to fill me in. 393 calories is not a whole lot. 11 grams of carbs is not a whole lot, so I have to be creative in that sense. And I feel that by having a big bowl of salad, it takes longer to just to chew everything. Like if you're eating lettuce and cucumber and tomato, you have to chew that stuff. You can't just swallow it, right? So it takes time to eat. So you eat slowly and it takes more time to be digested because it's high in fiber, it's high in water. So with very little calories, it's going to fill me up, give me the nutrients that I need, and I'm going to hit my macros. So that's simple. I don't have my tomorrow planned out, and that's what I recommend for pretty much everyone who's still working through learning how to track macros and how to do it properly. So if you're someone who can never hit your protein, or you get to the end of the day and you have no idea what to eat and you always go over or under and you never hit it, you have to plan ahead. You have to. You have to. You just have to. And it's much easier than it sounds. You just go through your diary. And so let's say if I had a higher protein goal here, I would go through my diary and I would see where I would be able to make the portions bigger. Okay, so probably here, egg whites, I would probably, instead of 88 grams, I would have 200 grams. Tilapia for lunch, instead of 130 grams, I would probably make it 150, 160 and see how that would turn out. But it's playing around on the app beforehand, not after, not during. Why? Because it's going to be so stressful for you. It's going to be so stressful. And I like to keep things as simple as possible, as quick as possible. And during the day you're working, you have lots on the go. If you have to think all the time, every meal you're gonna eat, if you have to think about what are you gonna eat, how are you gonna hit your macros, how are you gonna hit this, how are you gonna do that, oh my gosh, I'm hungry now, what do I need, what do I eat, oh shoot, it doesn't fit my macros, oh shoot, I don't have this, I don't have that, it's never going to work. So you have to plan ahead of time. You have to have the things that you need available at home, and you have to plan your diary ahead of time. Okay, so just go through your day, how many meals you have throughout the day, what can you add so you can hit your goals, and then go back and adjust the quantities, adjust the portion sizes, make it bigger for protein, smaller for carbs or fats, or play around a little bit so you can't hit those numbers prior to you eating. So you hit the numbers first on the app, and then you just wait and eat it. It's that simple. Okay. So this is my full day of eating. I had eggs in the morning with toast. Like, this has been my go-to breakfast for the past few weeks. I really like this. Except for the watermelon. Watermelon was just today that we had that. But watermelon is a really good tool to help you keep your belly full if you're going through a calorie deficit, going through a fat loss phase, because like 212 grams only has 64 calories, only have 17 grams of carbs, and it fills you up quite a bit because it's just water, right? Plus the fibers and all the vitamins and minerals. So I'm a big fan of watermelon. And then for lunch, tilapia and rice and broccoli and olive oil. Here again, um, if you're struggling to hit your fats, right? So we talked about protein, now fats. If you're struggling to hit your fats, what are the sources of fat that do not have carbs or do not have protein? What are those sources? The oils, right? So olive oil, avocado oil, whatever oil you want to use, coconut oil, they all have pretty much just fat, right? So just add that. Oops. Just add that to your day, like to your plate. I literally just put a little bit of olive oil on top of my tilapia, and that's it. And why did I do that? Because I knew that tilapia doesn't have a whole lot of fat, neither do rice, neither do broccoli. And had I not put a little bit of fat in here on my lunch, then later on I would struggle to hit my fat goals. Okay. I like to save up a little bit more fat for the night because it satiates me a lot. And I feel that it helps with my sleep and whatever. But I just like that. And if I want to fit in something yummy later on in the day, I have fats to play with because pretty much everything that's good, that tastes good, they are a source of it's a combination of fats and carbs, right? It's never either or. Um, I was even able to fit in this chocolate squares. If you guys go to Costco, it's like a big bag like this, Swiss chocolate, and it just comes with little squares like this, and each square has like three, like 30 calories or something like that. So you can have like three little pieces, and it's just 94 calories. But as you can see, majority of my calories, majority of my macros are from whole food sources, right? Nutritious food sources. It is not, I know that I can, if I want to, instead of having rice with tilapia, I could have had a bowl of cereal. I could have had, I don't know what else, but I could have fit in, like, in the bowl of cereal is right there in my fridge. But I know that those things are not going to fill me up. So when you're going through a calorie deficit, when you're going through a fat loss phase, you have to find things and you have to think about things that are going to fill you up, keep you satiated. Okay, because hunger is a natural response for of a fat loss phase. It's normal to feel a little bit extra hungry or to feel that you can't eat a little bit more than you what are you used to because you're going through that fat loss phase. So we want to manage that by eating things that keeps us satiated, that takes a little bit longer to be digested, that fills us up a little bit more. Um, Now, if we look on yesterday's diary, so you see, this is what I'm talking about. The glitch that's been going on MyFitness Pal. Like, it looks like that I had 836 calories for breakfast, but I did not. So some of the things are doubled. See? But if you go through my diary here on my phone, I've hit all the numbers. So I don't know what happened there. Apparently there's a glitch going on and apparently they already know about it and they're trying to fix it. That's all I know so far. But on yesterday's macros, I was still on the higher calories. I was still eating 1735, which it makes a difference. It does make a difference. So for snacks, I had one piece of that little chocolate because I wanted to fit in like one spoon of ice cream, not the diet ice cream, not the, you know, light ice cream. I wanted the real thing. But as you can see, I just had 23 mLs. Like I literally put the pint, the container, the thing, the jar on top of the scale, scooped out one spoon, put it in the fridge and just had that one spoon. Done. Okay, 70 calories, totally worth it. But again, as you can see, just a small fraction of my calories are going towards those things. The rest of it is well spread throughout the day. I have usually 4 meals during the day. Yesterday I had upper body. Today is my day off for my training, and yesterday I had upper body. So I usually eat meal 1, then meal 2, and then I'll go train. And this would be my post workout meal, and then I would have something else. Like last night, I wanted to make a sandwich, so I made a chicken sandwich with mozzarella cheese. Delicious. Created that in my head at the moment because I needed fat, I needed protein, and I needed carbs. So that's why I like to leave a little bit of fat for the end of the day, because I don't know, I just feel like I like to eat fatty things at night. I don't know why. It's personal preference. But one thing that doesn't change is the fact that I always, always, always prioritize protein in every meal. So as you can see, aside from my snacks, 32 grams of protein, 36 grams of protein, 37 grams of protein. This is wrong. This is wrong, but I believe it was 34, 30 something. So I can have it more equally distributed throughout the day to keep me satiated and to help with protein synthesis. And also, so I don't get to the end of the day with 50 grams of protein and not knowing how to hit that number, right? 50 grams of protein, 20 fat, and 0 carbs. Like, we don't want that to happen. So we spread things through the day. To be honest with you guys, I would definitely eat a lot more than 140 grams of protein. I would easily eat 160, I want to say, just based on my taste and based on appetite and based, like, I like a lot of protein stuff, so I would probably have a lot more, but this is my goal for that my coach set for me. So this is what I'm having. But I always incorporate a way of adding lean protein to my sources so I can have room to play with fats, right? So I'll have eggs. I'll add a little bit of egg whites. I had sliced chicken breasts as well. So I made like a little toast, delicious. And then again, I had whey protein, and then tilapia, and then chicken with mozzarella, and little things adds on, like a little bit of mozzarella, a little bit from the bread, plus the chicken breast. It gives me 32 grams of protein. So if you're struggling to hit your protein, little things, know that little things adds up. And also, always go through your diary the day before or the morning of. Go to your meals and adjust the portion sizes. Have bigger portion sizes of the things that you're already eating. And if you're not having at least 20, 25 grams of protein per meal, it's going to be really, really hard for you to hit your protein goals on a daily basis. Okay. And then you basically pair up your protein with the carb sources, with the fat sources, and so on and so forth. So, protein, the easiest route, lean protein sources. So they're rich in protein, low in carb, low in fat. For fat sources, oils, nuts, seeds, they will have a little bit of protein in them. They will have a little bit of carb in them, but they're very, very nutritiously rich, right? But you can play around with those. But if you just want fats, olive oil, butter, bacon, things like that, right? And then if you just want carbs, if you're struggling to meet your carb targets, if you're struggling to eat more carbs, same way, go through your meals. What can be your carb source for that meal? right? For my breakfast, toast. Instead of one toast, can I have two? Can I have three? Can I have four? For lunch, instead of just veggies and a protein source, can I add rice? Can I add potato? Can I add cassava? Can I add whatever you want to add? And then if you're having your protein shake, can you add oatmeal? I mean, oats. Can you make oatmeal? It's going to fill you up a lot more because you're cooking the oats. Fruits, a lot of things they have carbs, plus bread, plus cakes, plus cream of wheat, cream of rice, rice cakes. Those things help a lot. Now, if you tell me, Andrea, I really don't care for carbs in my during my lunch, but I really like to save up carbs to eat later at night, then that's fine. Especially if you're starting out, and you notice that you get to the end of the day and you always end up going over your macros at the end of the day, dinner time, after dinner. Structure your day so you have enough protein, you have a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fats during the day, but save up majority of it for dinner time, so you have more wiggle room to play with. So you can add your popcorn, so you can add the snacks that you like, so you can add that scoop of ice cream after dinner without feeling guilty about it, because you're still within your macros. You planned for it. As long as you plan for it, it's fine. Okay. And I think the last thing that I wanted to chat about the foods that I select, I like simplicity. I eat pretty much the same stuff every day. Like if I make tilapia, I'll make like a giant thing of tilapia and I'll eat that all throughout the week. No problem. Okay. Same thing for chicken. I have tilapia, I have chicken. I think I have steak ready as well, but um sometimes I eat steak, sometimes I don't. I like to eat steak on the weekends because I don't train on Sundays and there's a little bit more room for me to add fats. Um, Again, there's nothing wrong or inherently bad about fats. There's nothing inherently bad about carbs or about protein. But if you're in this program and if you're trying to hit your macro goals, you're trying to stay within a budget, within a caloric intake that will allow you, that will help you, that will point you in the direction of the goals that you're trying to achieve, right? You have a body composition goal. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, you would be doing everything on your own. You would be just eating as you please. You would be eating when you're satisfied, or like when you're hungry until you're satisfied, and blah, blah, blah. And getting closer to your goal. And as we get to, as we go through the process, the program, and we get to your goal, that's what you're going to leave the program with. Like, I want your goal to be maintenance, right? To be your post goal, let's say. So you want to achieve a certain body shape, you want to achieve a certain weight loss goal. You achieve that, and I'm going to teach you how to maintain that. And that's the end goal, right? This is a tool to help you get to your goal. Does that make sense? Guys, is it making sense so far? You have any questions? I know you guys don't want to show your faces while I'm recording this. You're all
sense.
shy. But any questions on tracking, MyFitness Pal, hitting macro goals, or anything at all?
Um, I do have a question that I don't track, and I'm not sure if I do this right. So, for example, when I'm seasoning chicken, pork, fish, and you put something that has carb, but see, it has carb, but it's actually when you put these for, I don't know, I make the meal for the week. So you put actually a spoon, and a spoon, for example, is four carbs, and I put this for the entire week. So I don't track this every day. So be honest, I don't track the season. So do
Mhm.
you track the seasoning, or you actually just leave this as it is, or
I don't track the seasoning because the seasoning that I use don't have any calories, right?
so if
If,
it has?
yeah, I would track it, but like if, what kind of seasoning do you use that has calories?
I tried not to use, be honest, but it's actually an old thing that I had. It's like a Korean
Okay.
seasoning, but it actually has it has the barcode and blah blah blah. But it's not so much. I think it's two or three
So you use
carbs.
just a little bit for a whole batch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically I try to use just onions and garlic, because this one we don't track. When I tried,
Yeah.
you told me no and yes. So, but sometimes, once a month at least, okay, let's just change the
Yeah.
the the, the taste of the chicken, please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What you can do, like, because it's really very, very, very little calories. I wouldn't, if you want to be on the safe side, I would add like 1 gram of
per
carb.
day. Okay.
Yeah.
What I do, I don't hit the goal. Or I actually try to actually leave at least 1 gram of carb, and actually when I can, 1 gram of fat,
Yeah.
just because I know that maybe I didn't track something right. So,
Yeah. That's a good strategy too. That's a good strategy too.
okay.
Um, and that's actually a good question because I changed my seasoning a little bit to fit in to this fat loss phase now that I'm in. Um, so for example, my chicken breasts, I always I was used to do it marinated, right? So I would leave it in the fridge, marinated in olive oil, lemon, and salt. And I wouldn't track the olive oil because I wasn't on a fat loss phase, right? But now I have to, so I don't do it that way. I just use lime juice, salt, pepper, garlic, and onions, and that's it. And it's still delicious. Still delicious.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So good.
Okay, okay. Thank you. It actually was a doubt that I have since the beginning. So thank
Oh,
you.
there you go. You could have asked, like, well, whatever you're doing, it's working, right? Because it's been 45 pounds already. So um but yeah, things like that. If it's very, very low in calories and you want to be on the safe side, you just add on like 1 gram of carbs, 1 gram of fat, or something like that. And that's if you read the material that I sent to you guys in the beginning, you know that I also recommend you to do that when you go to restaurants or you order takeout, because they certainly add on a lot more fat than we do at home. So I would track whatever meal I'm eating and add three, five, depending on what it is, but between 3 and 7 grams of fat for that meal, like purely as fat, because I know that restaurants use a lot of fat to make things taste good. Um, Oh, I'm glad we stopped here on Sunday because Sundays are a little bit unusual because Sundays I don't train. Sundays I usually sleep in, but I'm an old person, so sleep in, it means that I wake up after 7 between 7:30 and 8, but still it's a different day. So as you can see, my diary looks slightly different. So we wanted to go to the beach. Is this Sunday? Oh yeah, we wanted to go to the beach and we did go, but we didn't because we got there and the parking lot was full. So we just wasted our times. But I wanted to save up some fats and carbs for the rest of the day. So in the morning, I just had a simple protein shake with a little bit of carbs, pretty much no fats and 33 grams of protein. Always guarantee your protein. And then before leaving home, I had a little bit of tilapia because tilapia, lots of protein, very little fat, no carbs, plus a little bit of veggies to go with it. Of course, on our way home, I was starving and I hadn't bring any food with me or anything like that. So we stopped at Wendy's. I would usually order like a Dave's double or even triple because I love Wendy's. But it was impossible to make any burger fit within the fat goals that I have now. It's impossible. Just one sandwich, one burger. It's my whole entire day of eating for my fats. So I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich that has very decent macros, very decent macros, 34, 7, and 43. Filled me up quite okay. And it tastes actually good, like surprisingly good. So if you're out and about and you didn't bring food with you and you have to end up eating at a fast food chain, or you have to like you just don't you're just not prepared, try to make it a little bit better by thinking about what can you order that can give you your protein with little fats and moderate carbs, right? But especially protein with low fats, because everything is very high fat when we're talking about fast food foods. So they always have a version that's a little bit more macro friendly. So you're not always going to be able every single thing that you love all the time. Every once in a while, maybe with a little bit of sacrifice. But remember, this is a tool to get you to your goal. This is not what you're supposed to be doing forever. When you understand that, you start making better choices. So in this case, chicken sandwich is not my favorite. It's not my first option, but if it's perfectly within my macros and the taste is actually really good, I was surprised by it. And then I got home. I wanted to have a different, what did I have here? I had cereal, I had bread, I had butter with bread and mozzarella and ham, and it was delicious. What else? Top sirloin cap. Oh yeah, this was delicious. And then rice, delicious. And I also had ice cream on that day. I did not go over my calories. This is MyFitness Pal glitch. So ever since I started, I have not gone over my macros any like 0 days, a total of 0 days. I haven't gone over my calories or under ate my calories. I have been right to it. Again, because I have all the resources at home. I know what are the sources that are purely fat or purely protein or purely carbs. And I know that I have to have that the right combination on my meals. And again, I know how many meals I have per day. I know that my pre and post workout meals are very important. So I have to have carbs pre and post workout. Doesn't have to be a shake, it doesn't have to be whey protein, it can be whatever, but I have to have those two meals prioritized during the day. And knowing that structure, it makes it easier for me. Also, I don't play around with a lot of variety or recipes or different things like that. Like I I don't. I'm very simple. I like what I eat. I like my food. Like even rice with tilapia and broccoli, which sounds very boring, I make it taste good with with garlic and salt and pepper and seasoning, right? So yeah, I don't and here's the thing, most people think that contest prep diet has to be very bland, has to be very boring, no seasoning, no taste, oh, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. I still use salt, I still use pepper, I still use onion, garlic, and that's pretty much what I use. But even when I'm not in contest prep, I like those seasonings. I like simple seasoning. Um, so yeah, even the most boring quote unquote foods um, can taste really good, and I like it. Or even better, I conditioned myself to like those types of foods because they make me feel good. I know their purpose. I know why I'm eating what I'm eating. I know they're going to make me feel good. And I choose to feel good over feeling shitty. Nobody likes to feel shitty. So I um, avoid feeling shitty by avoiding eating things that are not good for me most of the time, right? But as you can see, there's a lot of ice cream in here. There's still chocolate. um there's still cereal. There's still things like, I love this honey bunches of oats. So good, so good. There's still fruits, there's veggies, everything's in there. So there's no secret. The only thing that changes is having you have to be organized. You have to be organized. You have to create a system that works for you. I know that for everyone is different. If I didn't work from home, I would have to bring all my meals to my workplace, and that would take up a little bit of an extra time to just put everything in a Tupperware and bring it with me and reheat and think about those things. But I've done that before, so I know it's possible. Um, and I know that right now I do have the luxury of working from home, but most people are now working from home anyways, and most people are busy. And believe it or not, we're all busy. So it's just creating the right systems and being organized and being prepared, planning ahead, like grabbing your MyFitnessPal food log and looking at it and adjusting the quantities to fit your macros, and not like just winging it, just logging as you go, and let's see how the end of the day turns out, because that's going to be freaking stressful, and it's not going to last. It's not going to last very long. um so yep. Any questions for me, guys? No. Okay. Okay, so I guess that's it for tracking and what I'm eating, and how to make things fit for you. If you're watching the recordings and you do have questions, just comment down below the questions and I'll be answering them. Um, but yeah, other than that, thank you so much. Let me just stop sharing here and stop the recording.